Okay, so last Friday, Jason got everything dug out, put the stone down there, and then of course it rained Saturday. So they say if you want it to rain, dig a basement, and it'll rain. So it rained quite a bit Saturday, so we had a little bit of cave in on the walls. And so I'm going around and just kind of cleaning the edges up a little bit. I won't be able to get the skid steer back out because it's way too muddy. I actually slid down the hill pretty good, but I was a little bit nervous once it took off. It went. But I'm gonna clean up around the edges a little bit. We're gonna dig a hole and put a sump pump in there. And then the excavator's gonna come back in the morning. His equipment's still here. And he's gonna just dip this right here out for me. Chris is coming in the morning to start forming up for the footers. Inspector's coming. He's on call, so whenever we're ready, he'll come out and give us an inspection. Get concrete tomorrow for that, and then hopefully start rolling on the basement walls. So like I said, we gotta get all this dirt out of here, clean that up a little bit, and get the water out. And hopefully it'll dry out a little bit overnight, I hope. So I mentioned that I added 16 feet just because the other day. And so this house, I already told my wife it's gonna take us 2 years to build this house. I'm setting the expectation at 2 years, that way. Surely it'll take a whole lot less than that. But I'm setting it at 2 years that way. Because right now, as any contractor knows, as soon as you start something for yourself, you get real busy. So we've gotten busy all of a sudden. Framing this thing is gonna be kind of a challenge just because all my crews are busy now. And so it'll actually be kind of good because me and the boys will kind of work on it here and there. And so it'll give us a good time to come out here and mess with it. But saying that, it'll give me more time to make up that extra little bit that it's gonna cost for that basement. I'll have more time to supplement that. So it'll be all right. It'll all work out in the end. As long as I don't do that on every phase of the house, we'll be okay. So I better get busy, get something done here. I'm gonna scrape some of the, damn it.
I got that one.
I'm gonna scrape some of the stone back where we can dig a hole. Tassie's gonna come back in the morning and clean all this out. I gotta get this all cleared out. I gotta get it staked out tonight. That way he can carry on with his footer in the morning. Of course, it'll probably cave in more tonight, knowing my luck.
Finally getting sick and tired of sleeping on my own. Where I'm at is not and will never be my home. Every voice in my head is more than I can shake. Till the liquor takes over and I cannot hold my weight. There's a war on my mind over all the things I cannot.
Okay, so note to self, dig the sump pit before you put all the gravel in. Will be a little bit smarter thing to do. Because he could have took a little scoop with these excavator and now it's gonna take us 20 minutes, 30 minutes of hand digging. Well, you gotta get the bucket, you gotta get down below the, you want the water to go in it. Basement guy's here, he's gonna get the form set up. Inspector's coming at 10:30. We'll do the inspection, make sure they got the steel in it and all that good stuff. And then he's gonna pour 2:30 this afternoon. We're gonna have a pumper truck here, and then we'll get going. So we had the stone a little too far over, so we had to pull all that back. So we got that done. We're getting it all figured out here. So excavator will be here anytime. He's gonna pull that extra dirt out, and then we'll finish marking out over there. So going good. Got Angel down there working on the deck. Final guy's coming in a couple days, so I want to make sure all that was ready to go. So anyway, so we'll see you in just a bit. obviously building a new house here behind the garage. And so the plan for this house is to move it. The house is only 25 feet wide by, I think it's 60 feet long. And then probably 14 foot of the front is actually sitting on an old porch. So I'm gonna try to move it, we'll see. I hate to just demo it. And unfortunately the city won't let me leave it here. You can't have two residences on one parcel. And so I could have split the parcels up and done two separate, but I wanted the house to be further this way. If I had split it, then I would have had to deal with setbacks, and I would have had to pay the surveyor for one thing. I'd had to pay them to come in and to separate it, do an easement for the driveway, and then I'd have setbacks where this house would have had to been further back because it has to be 10% of the width of the lot. This lot is 800 feet wide, so you'd have to be 80 feet further back. So it would have thrown the house so far back. I could have went and applied for a variance, and that might have worked, but it was just a lot of stuff that I didn't want to deal with, and I really don't want a house right beside the other house. So, because I don't want to rent it out. I wouldn't want to have a tenant that close to me, and then I just don't want another house that close. So the plan is to move it. We'll see how that goes, and then we're gonna move the garage. So this will go away, and then the house will be there. So I'll probably do away with a big chunk of this driveway because that would be the front yard. And so depending on the elevations, this might have to be demoed anyway, just because it may not work well with the new. But I'd hate to just demo it because it's a lot of concrete. So, but this house was built in '65. We remodeled it back in 2020. Back when the world was coming to an end, we went in there and remodeled it and just tried to make it look better.
Every voice in my head is more than I can shake, till the liquor takes over and I cannot hold my way. There's a war on my mind over all the things I cannot fix, and it's so fine right now I think to see
That's it. I could do 20, but now I don't know, man.
How are you?
46.
I'm 45.
Yeah?
I'm too old.
You see that down there?
Oh,
that was right here.
Oh, you moved it to that.
I took my forklift and I moved it down there.
Got fishing over there?
Yeah.
What, catfish too? Only?
Bass and...
Oh, bass. And the little one, right?
Yeah, the perch and stuff.
Yeah. No catfish?
I've never caught one. There might be some in there, but I've never caught any.
Didn't they put inside? Little babies in there?
I didn't.
Never did.
Okay, so we're getting the pumper trucks here. Concrete finally showed up, and they're getting the concrete poured today. Shouldn't take them long. They just started like 5 minutes ago, so it won't take them long. So after they get concrete poured today, tomorrow we'll rack the forms, and we'll put the perimeter drain all the way around the outside, and then I'll fill it with stone all the way around the outside up to the top of the footer. Same on the inside. I'll fill all that with stone, have it all even, and then in a couple days he'll come back and start setting his forms up for the basement walls. We're going to do 10-foot walls, so he'll have rebar sticking up after they get the footing all done, and that'll go on up into the walls later. So probably pour in the middle of next week, the basement walls. So maybe the end of next week we'll have the forms off and we can start putting some stone around it. We're getting the waterproofing done, get the stone around it, and start backfilling. So this back wall, we're going to do a 10-inch wall because it's 65 foot long and there's nothing really supporting it. So we'll probably have to put the floor system on first before we backfill this back wall. Even though part of it's going to be crawl space, we still don't want to put a lot of pressure on that wall. So let's go and get it. We're excited. Got a lot of activity out here today.
And I'm so tired right now, I think you see the end.
I don't know if we're being trimming. I can do it.
How I've walked so far, so long, never gaining an inch.
Show you what we're doing on our drain tile. So when they did the when they put the footer in, they put some of these guys underneath it before they poured, and then they're gonna tee into it, and then we're gonna put a drain tile here, and also one on the outside, all the way around, inside and out, and then we'll cover it with stone. We'll bring that stone all the way up to the top of the footer, inside and out, and then do our rough in on our plumbing, our under slab, pour the slab. They'll pour the walls. We'll do the walls first, and then we'll do the under slab. Once the walls are poured, the forms are stripped off, and then we'll fill that, and they put their waterproofing on. Then we'll fill that with stone. The crawl space is going to be somewhere in this height here, so we'll just go ahead and fill that with stone all the way up to there, all the way around. And the rest of it, where it's all the way up, we'll probably just take that stone, probably two-thirds, 3/4 of the way up, and then kind of taper it off towards the wall. That way, any water that hits that, any groundwater that comes in, it'll hit that stone and then go down, go into the drain tile. That drain tile goes around, goes into the sump pit, and gets pumped out. So I could do a daylight drain, but it would be a pretty good sized trench. I might still do it, but since there's crawl space on 3 sides, it kind of make it a little bit more difficult. So may just do the sump pit for now. So that's the plan anyway. So today the plan is to get the drain tile in. They'll put a little bit of stone around it. I'll come in and finish it off, and then they'll come in a couple days, start getting their form set, tile all their steel, and pour the walls.
They just love mud.
I bet a silver spoon would work good for this. The waterproofing, they got to come do it. It's $2.75 a square foot.
Well,
Go ahead and smooth. I'm gonna kind of smooth this out a little bit. I'm trying to do an excavator move, but it's not working. Got a lot of mud in it. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get all this down here. my objective before Chris comes back is to get all the stone down even with the top of the footer, all the way around, outside and inside. And then also I'm gonna snap a line on the outside of the basement wall. That way he knows what to go to for his walls. So I'm gonna pop my line exactly the exterior of the wall, and then he's gonna come in and he's gonna make another line outside of that where he'll put his forms up to. So his forms are, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, whatever they are. So he'll pop another line outside of that. And then he'll pop another line on the inside for the inside of his form. So, but we'll get it all marked out for him. That way he don't have to take time doing that. He also asked me if I could, like some of the measurements were like, it was like 11 foot 11. He was like, hey, if you could make that, 12 foot even, that would make him, because his panels come in 3 foot sections, 3 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot. If I could go in 1 foot increments, that way he don't have to do a bunch of put spacers in there and stuff. So I'm gonna try to tweak it here and there to make it where it fits that, so it'll go faster for him. Because everything is pretty much, I'm pretty flexible on the measurements. There's one measurement I got to hold across the middle section because I've already got the floor trusses bought. But other than that, I can kind of wiggle around just a little bit. So we got the drain tiles in. Chris did that. He put some rebar down to hold them down in place. And then so as groundwater comes in, this will be filled up with stone. As groundwater comes in, it'll go down to hit the drain tile. It'll go over to the sump pit, and it'll get pumped out. And then not into the septic. It'll be a separate line for that. So I've got about 1.5 hours so far just in this little area, just me working on it. So it shouldn't be too bad. It's just going to be a lot of trips back and forth. I got to go up and down, and I got to lift it over the rebar. Some of it I can dump in from the outside. I dumped this from the outside, but I really hate getting too close to the edge because I can cave it in, and I could go for a ride, and I really don't want to do that. So I'll probably just come in from the inside and just dump it over. That way I can get it right where it needs to be. When I dump it from the outside, it kind of pulls up around the outside, and I got to drag it over, so a little bit more labor. So I'll probably just do it from the inside, because I did that from the inside, and it's pretty much where it needs to be. So it'll be a lot more running back and forth, but it won't be too bad. I would say 5 or 6 hours, and I'll have the rest of it all done. So it won't be too bad. And then once we get it all done, he'll put the basement walls in. Plumber will come in, do some under slab. I got one bathroom down here. There's not a whole lot of plumbing to do, just a bathroom. And then other than that, it shouldn't be too bad.